20s, 200s, that's Olivia Gonzalez, Nicker, Nick Johnson, and Laura Frey, filthily long by this length of Ocean Debate. Your column will be open in 10 minutes in column number 3. So you need to start recording in 10 minutes in column. Thank you.
feel it in the image here, right? You hardly put, even on a good day, it's just a kind of thing. You will need to play, you will get those a little bit too long, and bring it natural or example. Yes, that's the key of the shows in the time. Yeah. Yes. You have it on timer. Yes. See, we stayed, as we were children, we stayed, so we had to simmer in a less compact environment. But the community was like a friend of ours who we used to when we were children.
I've never seen that at national before. So that I've seen them all the way down with all the lights and stuff. It's the first time I've ever seen that. Never ever seen that.
Attention athletes, week 1 of the 200 metres swim. Your call room is now open at call room number 3. That's Olivia Gonzalez, Kate Berry, Jennifer Henry, Laura Free, Phil Healy, Laura Roy, Ladisla Congo, and Kosheen Dubé. Your call room is now open at call room number 3.
The bigger ones. I got close up and I get over it. And I took my clothes over and the rest of it.
Well, even
right
for you.
there, but it was just
Right, as you can get started, I've arrived. Ready to go. Come on, Sean, how are you doing? I'm giving off here.
and you did it.
Huh? I'm giving off. Again. I've never seen that at the national school. They're allowed all their bags inside the fence. Oh, and you know why that is? They have to take them down. No, but I just saying to you, because there's a race about to start in the fall with bags and they won't be using that bend up. But we have to leave them here. You want stuff brought over?
And no such thing as
More. Lovely.
Mike's on here.
Wait, don't go, Jim.
Final call now for heat 1 of the 200 metres. You need to be in call room number 3 now. Heat 1 of the 200 metres.
Save the undying and the redying.
most of them just don't have blood.
athletes. Week 2 of the women's 200 metres, that's Laura Ford, Karen Tanky, Molly Murray, Eva Lynch, Kate Daley, and Nadine Elliott. We go to column 4, that's week 2 to column 4. And week 1 will be column 1 shortly, that's the final week will be column 1.
Many of the women have been up three and 6 years. All kinds of restaurants. They always say that people are coming in early. First week of the 200 metres spirit management.
Hello and welcome to the fourth and final day of the Irish Life Health Track and Field Championships in Morton Stadium, Santry. It is a splendid sunny morning here in Santry, Ronan, as we debate what is the postcode in New York.
Yeah,
Strange way to open the show, you have to say.
It is. We may not do so. We're talking about the 212, but here we're talking about certainly a couple of 200s, a pole vault, and a women's shot put as well. So lots of action here on screen. At the moment, we've got the women's shot put. They're up at the circle at the top of the home straight, which I believe is actually not that conducive to shot putting. I think they prefer the circle at the bottom of the home straight, but obviously with the pole vault going on down there as well, we've had to move it up towards that end.
Our early leader there is Michaela Walsh of Swinford, that just started a while ago. She's on 14.19. Second place at the moment is Casey Mulvey of Innievale on 13.66, and third is Kira Sheehy of Emerald on 13.59. But we'll focus our attention back to the track because Heat 1 is coming up in the women's 200 metres. And in Heat 1, we have 7 athletes from the inside. Lane 1, Olivia Gonzalez of Trim. Lane 2, Kate Bergen of Moyne. Lane 3, Jennifer Hanrahan of Tala AC. Lane 4, Laura Frey of Lagan Valley. Lane 5, the one to watch, Phil Healy of Bandon. Lane 6, Lauren Roy of City Lisburn. Lane 7, Nadie Slane Kabongo of Tala. And Lane 8, Roisin Doby of Crusaders. First two here will go through. We're going to have 3 heats in the women's 200, and then we'll have 2 time qualifiers after that. So Phil Healy obviously should have no difficulty here. It really is a splendid morning after all the bad weather we had. I'm sure the athletes who competed over the first 3 days will be jealous of what the athletes who are here on day 4 get to experience, because it is absolutely glorious and there's barely really a puff of wind. It is a slight breeze, but it's nothing too strong. So will we see something fast here from the Bandon Bullet, or the Ballineen Bullet, I suppose?
Yeah. Exactly, yeah. Phil Healy there out in lane 6, so she's got out pretty strongly here, has Phil Healy in the yellow of Bandon AC, but Lauren Roy just the outside of her there from City of Lisburn. She's going well as well. As we come into the home straight, it's Roy and Healy up the home straight here. And just inside that, the athlete from Tala AC, Jennifer Hanron, running well as well. But Healy is striding away the class of the field. 50 metres left to run here, and she has got 10 metres on the rest of the field. It is Healy in 24:02, Lauren Roy in second, and Hanrahan from Tala AC in third.
The wind there was plus 2.7. So again, we said maybe a breath of wind. It was a lot more than that, I guess. But 2.7 is an illegal tailwind. But I don't think it, judging by that time, it would have been super conducive there for Phil Healy, because she's capable of going much quicker than that. Especially the distance she drew away there was quite striking. No surprises, of course.
No, you can look at out of the flags here at the moment. We're seeing just on the pole vault runway. We see, look at the flags. It's not as windy as it was in the previous days. I think she just got caught. She was unlucky there with that wind. That women's pole vault is progressing nicely. We have Una Samuels is actually in the lead here from Leeville, I see, at 3 metres, and Sarah Zia Buckley from Leeville is in second, also at 3 metres. However, she's on countback. She's losing out there with a couple of failures at the earlier heights. Third place then is Una Bryce, also of Leeville. So it's a Leeville 1, 2, 3 in the pole vault. Fourth, Alva Healy from Dunno Harriers, and fifth at the moment, Quailfin Madigan from Lusk AC is in fourth. And a couple of athletes there yet to come in or may not be competing, but Kira Hickey and Lisa Houlihan will be hopefully in coming in at the later heights.
Yeah, great stuff there, updating on the pole vault. And we're back at the shot put here, where we are through to update the first 3 rounds, and we're completing the 4th round. As we said, as it was from the start, Michaela Walsh with that 14-13 in the opening round. She backed that up with 14-19 and then came back in the 3rd round with 13-84. She is firmly in pole position at the moment, on her way to goal if she holds on. Second place is Casey Mulvey of Innievale with 13.66. Third is Kira Sheehy with 13.59. As we go further down, Kate O'Connor back in action once again, the master of all trades. 13.58 is her best through 3 rounds. Through 4 rounds. Back in 5th at the moment, Aveen McMahon of Blackrock on 12.98. 6th is Alana Frattaroli of Limerick AC on 12.32. 7th, Geraldine Stewart of Tyrconnell with 11.18. 8th, Roisin Howard of Bandon AC with 10.03. And then 9th, Genevieve Rowland of Templemore, and her best so far is 8.92. She'll be coming up for her 4th effort. No, I think we're past that, so I think we're on to the 5th round now.
Yeah, so Genevieve Rowland is out of that competition. But that top 8, there's plenty of athletes that are have been competing in throughout this weekend in other events. Kira Sheehy, Casey Mulvey were in the discus yesterday, and Aveen McMahon and Kate O'Connor previously competing in the javelin. Kate O'Connor also in the high jump as well. I think, just getting an idea of who that was. Don't think that was Kate O'Connor. Could have been Geraldine Stewart from Tyrconnell. They have a red vest. Just throwing there.
Yeah, next into the circle will be Michaela Walsh of Swinford, I think. That looks like the Swinford kit from afar.
It certainly does. I'll just get a quick idea of who that was, because you would expect if they're going in
reverse order.
That should have been Kira Sheehy before that, but
yeah, that certainly was not the green and white of the emerald vest.
But here, that looks like it can only be Michaela Walsh. She's the only Swinford athlete in the field, and that certainly is a Swinford vest. I'm going to put myself out there and say definitely Michaela Walsh in the Swinford vest.
Say it with confidence. And it certainly is a Michaela Walsh type throw, because it's out there towards 15 metres, as we see there. The official just kneeling down just before the 15 metre mark. We'll update that when it officially comes through. We won't try to use our very amateur eyes to gauge the distance. But Michaela Walsh firmly in command with 14.19 at the moment. Holds that lead by, it's not a big lead though, it's only 34 centimetres over Kira Sheehy. Pretty much all these top 4 at the competition have already competed in other events across the last week. So aiming to round out a fine championships here on our final day of action.
I think we just saw Kira Hickey there as well in the pole vault joining that competition. The athlete from Blarney and Escara. And up next, it's a leave-out athlete. Just trying to get an idea of exactly who that is. It is Una Samuels, who's our leader in this competition so far with a clearance of 3 meters. And she's just taking a moment, distracted perhaps by the runner behind. And it looks like Aoibhinn McMahon at first glance. But get an idea.
It's
No,
like
it's like
abandoned
Roisin
vest.
Howard. Yeah.
No. Yeah.
It was Roisin Howard, whose brother won the long jump here last week. So she'll be hoping the multi-eventer, Roisin Howard, she'll be hoping to add to the Howard medal.
The dynasty. We can call it a dynasty.
Can we?
We certainly can. I'm gonna.
Here goes Una Samuels again. And she clears. That's probably 3:10, I would imagine, or 3:20. It looks to be going up in 20 centimetres. In fact, it's 3:10 we're at the moment. And that's clearance there for Una Samuels, who's leading that competition at the moment. But we'd expect the likes of Kira Hickey to be joining us. 200's up now as well. The second heat of the women's 200 has another Bannon AC athlete doing quite well over the 2 weekends. It is Lauren McCourt, the young athlete, competed here at the Youth Nations Cup last year, over 200 metres. Erin Tahini of Corrin AC in lane 2. Molly Horahan of Dundrum South Dublin. Aoife Lynch from Dunor Harriers. Laura Cadden from Sligo. Kate Donoghue from Annalee AC. And Adedini Georgiou from DSD.
Yeah, so those are your 7 athletes for Heat 2 of the women's 200 metres. The fastest time qualifiers at the moment in the outside the automatic spots are Jennifer Hanrahan of Tala and Laura Frey of Lagan Valley on 25.02 and 26.02. So those will be the times we're watching for 3rd and 4th place here. But the positions they all want, those giant queues, and there's only 2 of them on offer. Numbers 1 and 2.
Yeah, I'd expect Aoife Lynch here and Lauren Cadden in lanes 5 and 6 to feature strongly in this one. Some of the fastest athletes in the field. And young Lauren McCourt there in lane 2 will go well as well. 400 metre runner as well in her time. So getting out strongly there is Erin Tahini of Corrin AC there in lane 3. She's going well here on the inside, but really well in the centre of your shot are Aoife Lynch and Lauren Cadden. They're storming around as we unwind the stagger here. We have 5 athletes in the midst in this one. Molly Horan as well going led from DSD, but it is Aoife Lynch from Dunor Harriers striding away from the rest of the field. Lauren McCourt coming well on the inside, but Lauren Cadden looks like she's going to get that automatic qualifying spot. It's very hard to tell, but Aoife Lynch certainly with the win in that one qualifying. And in 2nd place, it's a toss-up between Lauren McCourt and Lauren Cadden.
Yeah, and I think it's bad news for Lauren Cadden. Even if she has qualified, I think she was clutching, as soon as she crossed that line, she was clutching what looked like her right hamstring. She's at the bottom of your shot there in the white, and as you can see, she's gone down in considerable pain. And unfortunately, as we look back to the shot, but she's not happy. So I suspect she'll have run quick enough there regardless to qualify, even if she was pipped for 2nd, but with only a few hours until the final this afternoon, I'm assuming Lauren Cadden. Let's just hope it's a bit of cramp. She's not really limping as she walks away now, but perhaps just a bit of cramp or a bit of tightness she felt there as she approached the line. These athletes running at max velocity, as they say in the sprinting world. Max V, something like that, Ronan?
We haven't got a clue there.
No, we're lost without our sprints expert, Gerard O'Donnell, who will be coming up later this afternoon, and is a very good alibi for not being here. He's running the hurdles final later.
Certainly, he's currently resting up. Kira Sheehy in the shot put, by the way, throwing a throw of 13.85, so getting out to 2nd place there. She was already in that position, but she's improved her throw and getting slightly closer to Michaela Walsh. She's thrown 14.19. We saw the likes of Jay Benson yesterday in the triple jump with a fantastic last round, so perhaps we might see some last round heroics here from the likes of Kira Sheehy and Casey Mulvey.
The king of clutch. That's what we're calling Jay Benson after yesterday's performance. And he brought some serious style to Century as well, with the backwards baseball white cap and fluorescent pink warm-up tops and stuff. It was
Yeah, he's a tremendously stylish young man.
He brought the spice dust, as he said himself. So back in the shot put. Circle.
Yeah, but quite a high throw there. I think from the Tyrconnell AC athlete. The foul.
We're into the closing stages of this in the 5th round.
Yeah,
You'll find all the most up-to-date marks, results, etc. on live.athletiksireland.ie. That is the place to go all day long for your heat sheets, etc. Some are being updated throw by throw or jump by jump. Others kind of
intermittently,
round per round basis.
Certainly, and
there's Michaela Walsh. Again, a high throw. Walks out the back of the circle, which is a good sign. It's out towards. It's definitely short of 15 meters. You'd expect that, but it's not far off that 15-meter line. Not that there is a line. 14 meters could well be good enough to get it done here, but Ciara Sheehy is certainly keeping close order with 13.85. Shot put fans around the world will have been astonished by what happened in Des Moines, Iowa last night, or yesterday, as Ryan Krauser, the 2016 Olympic champ, had 6 throws. No one in the world running besides Ryan Krauser has gone over 22 meters this year, and he had 6 throws over 22 meters. His best, I think, was 22.72.
Yeah, an incredible athlete and a man who's had many a good last round performance.
We're being terrorised by a wasp.
We are.
Forgive our distraction.
Quite ironically,
it's Ronan's shirt. What jersey is this?
It's Jaguares, the Southern Argentinian Super Rugby.
It's actually wasp coloured, so I believe the wasp was
They
thinking that they were looking at some sort of queen.
I am a bit of a queen, in fairness, the diva of the commentary world, but it was quite ironic that the Level athlete, which is a kind of B-type uniform, wasp-type uniform, yellow and black, was competing at that very same time. That was Una Samuels of Level AC. She's the leader in that competition at the moment. So plenty of action here yet. It's still Una Samuels and Orla Coffey, I see, from Carrignavera. My apologies, had entered that competition. Very similar vest to Ciara Hickey. Ciara Hickey has also entered the competition. She entered at 3:15. So we've got quite a few athletes still in this one. Una Samuels and Orla Coffey holding that first place between them. And going back then to third place is Zara Zia Buckley from Level AC. So a real Cork affair here. There was a time in Irish athletics when if you weren't a Houlihan or coached by Eamon Flanagan, I don't think you were allowed to do the pole vault. There was a Venn diagram there with most, there was very few athletes that weren't one of those two.
Absolutely. Speaking of Houlihans, if you've seen Shelby Houlihan tearing it up on the World 1500 metre circuit, met her at Dublin Airport a couple of years ago on her first visit to Ireland with her parents, and she has, I think it's a Cork grandparent, hence the Houlihan. So she may be running for the US, but every time you see Shelby Houlihan race the best in the world over 1500, remember that she has Irish roots and she's very proud of them. She had a great week in Ireland a couple of years ago on her first visit with the folks.
Any chance of a transfer, as we see Zara Zia Buckley there, just catching that as she was going over the barrier. So that's it. We reckon 3:15 at the moment. So just catching it with her feet there on the way up, and that looks to be her first attempt at that height, although there was the obligatory clap. So possibly not her, could have been her final effort. So we see Avian McMahon, I think, in the shot put.
Yeah, we're still in the 5th round here in this women's shot put final. Good long throw there.
Yeah, McMahon is currently in 5th place with a 12.98 throw, but if she can get into that 13 metre zone, Casey Mulvey and Ciara Sheehy and Kate O'Connor can all be caught. As we see the final heat of the women's 200 getting out on track now. Amy Allen, Kate O'Connell, Sarah McCarthy, Sarah Lavin, Jenna Breen and Aisling Kelly and Ora Lear in this one.
That is your order from the inside out. Lane 2, Amy Allen of Naas. Lane 3, Kate O'Connell of Lucan Harriers. Lane 4, Sarah McCarthy of Mid Sutton. Lane 5, Sarah Lavin of Emerald AC. Lane 6, Jenna Breen of City Lisburn. Lane 7, Aisling Kelly of Taman AC. And Lane 8, Orla Lear of Monaghan Phoenix. Sarah Lavin, after that medal in the 100 metres last weekend, will certainly be one to watch here. She's been in fantastic form. Emerald up to UCD. She ran for them for a few years while at college there studying physio, and now back to the green and white colours of Emerald. Long-time coach Noel Morrissey, no doubt, will be looking on, if not through the fence there, through Sensory Demina somewhere. Sarah Lavin is in lane 6 there, or lane 5, and you can see she's already well up on Jenna Breen outside her there, and Rockets, remember, first 2 only to go through here. Sarah McCarthy also going well in lane 4, but Sarah Lavin turns for home with a 3 metre advantage over Sarah McCarthy, going well too on the outside there. That's Aisling Kelly in lane 6, but it's going to be Sarah Lavin by a street here. A picture of relaxation as she comes up to the line. 23.77, the fastest time we've seen in the heats. Excellent running from Sarah Lavin. And the wind was minus 0.5, so we can see it swirling around a bit. But again, I'd suspect we couldn't trust that wind reading for Phil Healy perhaps earlier. It certainly wasn't, because she's capable of going much quicker than 24 seconds if she had a 2.7 at her back. But excellent stuff there from Sarah Lavin. And Sarah McCarthy as well, I think, secured an automatic spot in second.
Certainly, and just going over in the pole vault there was the Carrigan-Navarre athlete, I think. We have 2 athletes with very similar vest, so we'll try and clarify that for you. But both of those athletes still in the competition, Orla Coffey and Ciara Hickey. So at the moment, we've only got 4 left there, Una Samuels and Orla Coffey from Leeville and Carrigan-Navarre respectively. First time clearances there at 3:15, and then Ciara Hickey and Una Bryce then going over on their second clearance from Blarney and Scarra and Leeville. They're in 3rd and 4th. So those 2 athletes still in that one. 4 athletes still left.
And we're in the final stages of the shot put, so we better get a look at this as well, because we're well through the 6th round here. Is this Casey Mulvey? And as it's been the whole way through now, Michaela Walsh, 14-19 in that gold medal position.
Yes, Carl, you're right. That is Casey Mulvey there. She'd have fouled in that last round, so we've finally figured that one out. The Innervale athlete is currently in 3rd place.
Certainly, and it is Ciara Sheehy has passed or fouled her final attempt of Emerald, so she will take the silver medal. Casey Mulvey takes the bronze, and this is going to be a glory throw for Michaela Walsh of Swinford AC, 14-19. She skipped the hammer last week, but she's equally accomplished across both disciplines, and here she is. Brilliant to see her progressing and still winning these national titles. Michaela Walsh, her best of 14-19. Can she improve upon that?
Yeah, kind of a throw went out to the right-hand side of the sector there. As I mentioned earlier on, this circle not that conducive to good throwing here at Morton Stadium, but still a good throw nonetheless, and a clean throw from Michaela Walsh. So we said a glory throw. She's won another national title, and a lot of these athletes competing over various throwing disciplines. As we see, that is the Carrigan-Navarre athlete, Orla Coffey. She is currently in 3rd place in this competition with that clearance of 3:15, and needs to get up to Ciara Hickey and Una Bryce, went over at 3:30. She has got over at 3:30 now as well, and with a superior early rounds for Orla Coffey, you'd expect her to be in the mix here. This is going to be a really good pole vault competition. A lot of athletes of a similar standard here, a lot of young athletes, all from Cork in fact, which is always great to see. For me personally.
Not that you're biased. Michaela Walsh, that was her 9th national title overall, counting indoors and out and multiple disciplines. So 9 national titles were won at the age of 21. Says a lot about the measure of Michaela Walsh's class. So magnificent stuff from the Mayo woman. She was the 2017 European Under-20 bronze medalist in the hammer. And if she keeps going the way she's going, there should be many more medals in the future for Michaela Walsh, both in Ireland and, we all hope, on the international stage. Great stuff from the Swinford star.
Yeah, you should imagine she's one of the few athletes that could potentially go after, I'm going to say Trevor McHugh.
Eileen O'Keefe?
No, McHugh's record of 20 javelin titles in a row. And here's Una Samuels, just catching that at, we reckon, 3:30. She was the early leader in this competition, so first time failure there at 3:30 for Una Samuels. So in that competition, Hickey and Bryce over at 3:30. They're in 2nd and 3rd. Samuels now in 4th, and needs to clear that 3:15 or that 3:30 barrier. And Orla Coffey at the moment 2 clearances, 2 jumps, 2 clearances, and in the lead at 3:30.
And we'll get you fully up to date on what happened in those women's 200 metre heats, because we do have final results confirmed. The quickest qualifier of all was the last one. That was Sarah Lavin with 23.76. advanced automatically ahead of Sarah McCarthy of Mid Sutton. 24.78 for Sarah McCarthy in second. Third there was Kate O'Connell with 25.06. Fourth was Jenna Breen with 25.10. And I can confirm that Kate O'Connell of Lucan there went through with that 25.06. From Heat 2, we only had 2 automatic qualifiers, or 2 qualifiers outright. That was Aoife Lynch of Denore Harriers and Lauren McCourt of Bandon. Unfortunately for Lauren Cadden in third, she did not advance at 25.18. We'll tee up some of the replays of that. And then from the first heat, Phil Healy and Lauren Roy advanced automatically. And in third, Jennifer Hanrahan with from Tala AC 25.02 gets the final small Q. So heartbreak for Lauren Cadden. Let's hope she's not injured, but she just edged out of the final. As we see heat 3 there, this was our fastest qualifier. 23.76 from Sarah Lavin. Really bounding away there. Sarah McCarthy held on for second, 24.78. And Kate O'Connell up for third, 25.06. Great stuff from the Lucan Harrier.
Absolutely, and some very good performances there throughout the 200 metres. A lot of athletes in around that 25-second region that just missing out in qualification. As we see the leave-in athlete Una Samuels here going in the second attempt in the pole vault.
It's the third attempt, I think, actually, looking at the board, unless they've
yes.
already failed her. So this is her final chance, and it ends in heartbreak, as it so often does in the vertical jumps. The official actually put up the white flag initially and then corrected himself and put up the red one. I was like, wait, no, that was actually a failure.
And we're going to see another replay here of the second heat, I think. Yeah, Aoife Lynch there, centre of a shot to Denore Harriers athlete, and Lauren Cadden just on her outside shoulder looked like he was going to get second place here with 15 metres left to run, but Lauren McCourt with a storming finish there up the inside and just catching Lauren Cadden on the inside. As you said, Lauren Cadden maybe suffering from a bit of a hamstring issue after the race, so perhaps mightn't have made it to the start line anyway. Aoife Lynch though looking really good to win that one. So we're going to see Michaela Walsh here, the winner of the shot put in a throw of 14.27. So big throw, a lot of big throws from Michaela Walsh. That was her final throw. You see there just out to the right hand side of that circle, left hand side as you can see it. But a massive throw there. She had a very, very strong series, 14.13, 14.19, 13.84. Her one blemish, you could say, even though it would have been a winning throw in our third round, 14.13, 14.10 and 14.27, which I believe is the year that Columbus sailed the Ocean Blue. Is that correct?
Don't ask me. We'll consult our history professor, history consultant.
But second in that competition, Ciara Sheehy. Third, Casey Mulvey. Fourth, Kate O'Connor. Fifth, Avian McMahon. Sixth, Alana Fratatoli of Limerick AC. Seventh, Geraldine Stewart. Eighth, Roisin Howard. And ninth, Genevieve Rowland. So good, strong shot put competition.
Excellent stuff. Next up on track, it's going to be the men's 200 metre heats. They are over on the back straight, doing their final warm-ups. I see Chris O'Donnell is back there. Said hello to him on the way in. He's raring to go for the sprint double, but it's going to be quite a feat to even get a medal in that, because we have the likes of Marcus Lawler back. 20.3 men at his best, and of course Stephen Gaffney, our 100 metre champion, will be back on track for that. So it's a mouth-watering clash coming up in that men's 200 metre final later on, but we'll get a look at them and get an insight into their form in these heats coming up in just a few minutes' time.
Yeah, it's Una Bryce there from Leave LAC, just going over that pole vault, or not going over that pole vault in this case. She's got over at 3:30, so we've gone up now. I couldn't tell you exactly what we've gone up to, but judging by the previous rounds, I suspect we've gone up to about 3:40. Next on the runway now is our Blarney and Ascara athlete, Ciara Hickey. She'd be one of the favourites for this, is Ciara Hickey. In the green of Blarney and Ascara. Just watching the rising of the bar. She's hoping that it'll stay there. As we see some of our shot put medalists just strolling down below us there. This is Ciara Hickey on the runway.
Ciara Hickey at her best is a 3:53 vaulter, so we'll be hoping This is within her comfort zone. It's getting up there though, stretching the boundaries. She jumped that last year in Cardiff indoors. Of course, indoor vaults count just as much as outdoor vaults for personal bests and record purposes. As Renaud Lavillenie will know, when Mondo broke his world record earlier this year.
Just catching that up on the way with her feet there. Ciara Hickey just seemed to be lacking a little bit of speed as she came in and just trying to arc over that bar. As you said, it's kind of getting up in height now towards the upper reaches of Ciara Hickey's previous bests. So you should be hoping to summon a big jump here and get over what we think is 3:40.
Yeah, Orla Coffey back on the runway.
It is 3:40, by the way, just to clarify.
There we go. Orla Coffey at her best is a 361 vaulter. In good form recently at the Field Events Festival here, going over 320.
Yeah, Jumpapalooza was a big event here this summer where lots of the field eventers got their time in the sun, and it was quite sunny that day, similar to today. So
Yeah, it was at the schools last year where she cleared her PB, taking that title, and it was a very good season for her. She finished second in the national seniors last year, so can she turn the silver into gold this time? She's only 17 years old, is Orla Coffey. Outstanding young talent, and
just
looks
catching
like
that with her
she-
knee.
looks like she had the height.
Yeah, an incredibly difficult event is the pole vault. You can think about the fact that you're essentially running, putting a pole into the ground, and then trying to make yourself go upside down and then land on a mat while going over a height of 3 meters and 40, which is quite disturbing.
Terrifying. Let's just
So
say
fair
it.
play.
It's terrifying.
Just seeing down here the women's shot put and the athlete that we were confusing several times there, or I was confusing as per usual. That was the Emmy Vale athlete, Casey Mulvey, who picked up that bronze medal there. You can see this on the right-hand side of your shot. Casey Mulvey. Second place was Emerald AC's Ciara Sheehy. She threw 13.85 to Casey Mulvey's 13.66. But as you said, Michaela Walsh, 14.27. An outstanding performance from her to get the win, the Swinford AC athlete there atop the podium. So Cathal is going down to interview Michaela Walsh, and you'll see that on the Athletics Ireland Twitter as soon as he gets around to doing his job, which, sometimes he can be lacking somewhat. After this, now we're going to have the 200s as we see Una Bryce there making her way out towards the women's pole vault. I think we could probably get her jump before we move over to the 200. This is going to be her second attempt according to our records here online at live.athleticsIreland.ie. The Leeville SC athlete is going for her second attempt at 3:40. So you can always clarify that by the claps at the end. She'll get a clap if she does not get over this. That will indicate it was her third attempt. So Bryce getting over there, a clap, the other type of clap, a positive clap, and she gets over there at her second attempt at 3:40. So three athletes very much in the mix in this one. Una Samuels is back in fourth. Una Bryce, who just cleared there at 3:40. Ciara Hickey, she now has to try and clear this one now at 3:40. And Orla Coffey also needs to clear at 3:40. So those three athletes still in this. And this is Ciara Hickey of Blarney and Erskara. Just seeing him rightly go over there. And she makes it as well. An outstanding effort. Just launching that pole away from her. If the pole hits it as well, it'll be a no jump. And she'll need a third effort. But getting over there at her second effort at that height of 3:40 was Ciara Hickey of Blarney and Erskara. So Una Bryce and Ciara Hickey over that. And all the pressure now on last year's silver medalist Orla Coffey of Carrignavar. Second attempt here at 3:40. So you can see Hickey here on the runway, the Carrignavar athlete. Hoping for a second time clearance at 3:40. She's seen two other athletes do it. And she just wiggles over it. Almost stationary in the air as she went over that bar. She had the height and had the strength. Ciara Hickey, so three athletes still in that one at 3:40, and Ciara Hickey probably with the best, Orla Coffey with the best run of jumps throughout. You'd expect Una Bryce, who came in at 2:20, so has had a lot of jumps. You'd expect her to be tiring maybe as the competition moves along. Men's 200 metres heats now. First race on track, we've got Patrick Lyons, followed by Aaron Cushion. Jack Manning was in the 400 metres last week. Kilkenny City Harrier. He's got a PB of 21.99, so he'll be in the mix in this one. Marcus Lawler with a PB of 20.40. Second in the 100 metres last week, the St. Lawrence O'Toole's AC athlete Nick Ennis in lane 6 there from Crusaders. Connor Herty from North Sligo AC in lane 7, and James Sullivan out there from Dundrum, South Dublin with a PB of 24.87. So settling into their blocks. Lawler, obviously the class of this field in lane 5, the St. Lawrence O'Toole AC athlete in the white and blue. He's pretty much centre of your shot there. You can see him in lane 5. Seem to be moved out. Actually, apologies, they've been moved out. There is no Patrick Lyons of Galway City Harriers. So in lane 6, it is Marcus Lawler getting away really strongly. Jack Manning trying to take closer order there to Kilkenny City Harrier, but Marcus Lawler, the absolute class of this field, is storming away as he enters into the home straight. Lawler with about 2-3 metres on Jack Manning, but as Lawler storming away from this field, he's going to win at an absolute canter here. Manning in second, and third place is Nick Ennis of Crusaders.
It's one of life's great joys watching Marcus Lawler run at 200 metres. He's a natural. He really is. The way he rips around that bend. He's a tall athlete. He's deceptively tall, Marcus Lawler. When you meet him, you're actually kind of looking up at him. Even we're 6 foot plus men running, but he doesn't look. I suppose he's well built as well, and kind of low to the ground almost when he runs. But he is a tall athlete, so not seen to his best effect in events like the 60 metres, but obviously hugely accomplished. Any man who goes under 10.4 in school is obviously a heck of a 100-metre runner, but it's always when he runs to 200 that you really see Marcus Lawler to full effect, and that was a thing of beauty there, that last 50, just to see with what ease this man can run at such speeds.
And you'd expect that Marcus would be smarting a little bit from last week's loss to Stephen Gaffney, so hoping to put that right in the final later on, all going well for Stephen Gaffney in the later heats. This is the Blarney Inniscarra athlete, Ciara Hickey, here on the runway. She's cleared 3:40, so we're up. All the athletes have gone over that now, and we are up another height. So I would expect and I will confirm it, is at 3:50. We had Una Bryce had a failure at that height, and now Ciara Hickey also has a failure at that height. So next up will be Orla Coffey, and if she can get over this 3:50 barrier, she's one of the few athletes that's actually got to that height in the past. I know Ciara Hickey, as you said earlier, has jumped about a 3:53, but Coffey has a little bit more wiggle room in terms of her personal best here. So Coffey getting ready on the runway. Just going through some visualization exercises. If I was in a pole vault, I wouldn't want to visualize it, because I'd be like, why am I going to go up into the air again? Terrible idea. I'd probably just close my eyes and just run with the pole and hope that it all worked out well in the end. Here is Coffey, an accomplished performer here. Silver medal at the National Seniors last year. The athlete from Carricknavar, North Cork. So remember, all these athletes would have been restricted in their usage of the pole vault and all the equipment, and even some of their gym equipment as well over the last couple of months during lockdown, and are still performing at such a high level here. It's a testament to their ability. Here goes Coffey down the runway, and she unfortunately is a failure at that height. Just seemed to struggle to get up to that height, an attempt that she will hope to improve on in the later rounds in this one. So 3 athletes. As we see, we're going to see Marcus Lawler here again in terms of the replay. What a wonderful run from Lawler. Lawler, as you see, coming into the home straight here. You see driving the arms, low shoulders, very relaxed, but a powerful athlete. And Manning running well just in second place here. You can't really see from this angle. You can see from this angle how fast Marcus Lawler is actually moving there. Even over that last 20 or 30 metres, he seemed to be accelerating away from Jack Manning, the Kilkenny City Harrier. So in this next heat of the men's 200, we're going to have Adi Joy of City of Lisburn AC, Aaron Kelly from Longford AC, Evan Crotty from Emerald AC, who's around 22.01, Sean McCarthy also from Emerald at 22, second athlete at his best, and last week's 100 metre champion, the reigning 100 metre champion here, Irish champ, Stephen Gaffney from UCD AC is in lane 6, Darragh Donoghue from Annalee AC, then in lane 7, and Joseph Doherty in lane 8. So Gaffney with the class of his field. You see him in the yellow UCD vest. Especially, we might get a chance to see Una Bryce here take her third and final attempt on the runway.
I think Gaffney should be running for Rathfarnham unless something is amiss. He was last week.
No, he ran, I think, for UCD last week.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh dear, this is upsetting.
You were there, remember?
You were there, man.
No, I think so, yeah.
I
I'll
have the
check.
memory of a goldfish.
I will check. It wouldn't, in fairness, I'm the one that makes mistakes, Carl. Do you want to go back and do it? I think you ran for Rathfarnham last week, Carl. Is that correct?
That's correct. He's in lane. What lane is he in? 6.
That was a this is Keir Hickey now of Blarney and Ascara on the runway. At the moment, she's sitting in second place. Una Bryce with that second failure at 3:50. So Hickey hoping to put a cat amongst the pigeons here at the under 23 athlete, and she just misses out there. She looked like she had the height, but got over it and then just clipped it with her knee on the way down. So you can imagine you're in the air and you're trying to use your limbs in such a fashion that you will get it over the bar, but very, very difficult to do so, especially at these heights. Now, next up is Orla Coffey from Carricknavar. She would, at the moment, be your winner, even if all three failed at this height, as she has the best record on the previous jumps. A cruel way to lose out here, but one of the few ways to separate athletes in a competition where they're all of a very similar standard. Coffey on the runway. Bit of a non-attempt there in her last round, so she's hoping to go one better here. And she has got over an outstanding jump from from Orla Coffey there, getting over that second attempt, and she looks like she's put some distance between herself and the other athletes in this event. Still two other athletes with further attempts as we get to the 200 meters here. Adi Joy in lane 2. In fact, there is nobody in lane 2, so it's Aaron Kelly. Possibly Adi Joy moved into lane 3, but Joy, Kelly, Crotty, McCarthy, Gaffney, Donoghue, and Doherty in this one. So it looks like Gaffney's been moved out to lane 7 in the UCD vest, and just on his inside, McCarthy and Crotty, most likely the challengers here, but we see Gaffney unlikely to be challenged. Gaffney getting out strongly there, the UCD athlete. The national 100 metre champion has already got a couple of metres on the rest of the field, and he's powering around. The tall, long-limbed athlete gets into the home straight here, and it is Gaffney powering up the straightaway with Evan Crotty running well from Emerald AC, who's challenging him a bit on his shoulder here, but it is Gaffney running really strongly and just rallying with 50 metres to go. Crotty in second, and the other Emerald AC athlete, McCarthy, then in third place, 21.83. Gaffney looking very strong there, but was challenged by Crotty from Emerald.
Yeah, impressive stuff from Stephen Gaffney, running like a champion that he is, national champion, of course. And it was Aaron Kelly there of Longford who came in fourth there. We'll give you that official time once we have them from the first heat. Obviously, only the winner goes through to the final, so vicious qualification criteria. But out across 6 heats, the winner of each in 6 heats, and then we'll have 2 time qualifiers from the second and third placed athletes, depending on who was quickest. The quickest at the moment was Jack Manning with 21.14. Might have a chance, but Nick Ennis is currently on 23.13 as well, but I'd imagine that won't be good enough. We'll have a quick look back at that. So that was very impressive from Stephen Gaffney. Spoke to him during the week. You can read it on the Irish Independent website and Irish Examiner for a piece yesterday, and about, I guess, that national title last week, and also incident in Belgium last year where he crossed the line and clocked what appeared to be 20.39 for 200 metres. It was a cruel act of misdirection by the timing equipment that was faulty on the day, and it took several weeks before he found out that it was actually 20.94, I think it was. coached now by Stuart Hogg from afar, but long-time coach Kieran McDonough still implementing, as we see a brilliant clearance there.
That's Una Bryce there on her third attempt at that height of 350, so an incredible performance and really putting the pressure here on Ciara Hickey of Blarney and Ascara to get over this one. So Coffey and Bryce over at the 350. Pressure on Hickey now for this next attempt. But
That's
yes,
all.
no doubt about that. 200 from Gaffney.
Yeah, stunning stuff. He was speaking about how, during the week, about how, I suppose, how good it is working with a team like Stuart Hogg and Kieran McDonough. And I guess the realisation and the wisdom from Kieran McDonough, obviously the longest ever Irish long jumper, beyond 8 metres, his Irish record. And he coached him for 5 years, and he had the foresight to realise that he couldn't take him much further at that point. And he actually suggested to Gaffney that they start working with Stuart Hogg. And he said that's hasn't been over as much as he'd liked for obvious reasons due to lockdown. But a very wise man, and of course guided Paul Hestian to his great performances.
Hickey here on the runway. This is her third and final attempt at this height, and it's a non-attempt here. She's crossed the plane, so that is her out of the pole vault competition. She can contend herself with a bronze medal and the under 23 title. Can Ciara Hickey from Blarney and Ascara, and only 2 athletes left in that one, Bryce and Coffey.
It's the head-to-head. In the second heat of the men's 200, Gaffney took victory in 21.82. Evan Crotty in second with 22.08 is the quickest of the spare, I guess, time qualifiers at the moment. Jack Manning on 22.14 and Evan Crotty in 22.08 are in those spots at the moment. But they're very much hot seats, and there's a lot of great athletes to come over this next 4 heats, so they may well have a nervous 10-20 minutes or so ahead.
Certainly a high level competition here, as we see the men's shot put as well are starting to warm up, so we'll be able to bring you the highlights from that as we move through the day. But the third heat of the men's 200 is going to be up next.
Yeah, it'll feature Conal from the inside out. It'll feature Conal O'Toole of Raheny, Adam Halpin of Donore, Charles Okafor of Mullingar Harriers, Mark Smith of Raheny, Ferdia Kenny of Schliecoolan, Darren Costello of Galway City Harriers, and Lewis O'Connell of Listowel. Or Listowel.
Listowel, yeah. Outstanding pronunciation there from...
Great race meeting. Anyone interested in horse racing or crack, go down to Listowel. It's a little more hipster than Galway. Galway's a bit obvious. Listowel is a tremendous place that week in, I think it's September usually it's on. Cancelled this year, of course, but, from a gathering perspective, it's cancelled, but great old crack down in Listowel.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sometimes struggle as an outsider to understand the Kerry accent. At least I did one time when I was about 10 at the Listowel races. Look back on that outstanding clearance there in the pole vault.
That's Una Bryce there. It was her third and final attempt at that height at 350, and she got herself over it, so she'll need to clear a higher height than the favourite for this one, Orla Coffey. Only 2 of them left, and if she can clear another height that Coffey doesn't, she'll get the win. Coffey has the advantage on countback at the moment. So third heat of the men's 200, and that shot put, as I mentioned previously, you got the 2 Kelly brothers coming up, and that the Finn Valley AC athletes, and Sean Brannock then who won the 56 for height here last week. I think he's got a little bit of an injury, so we won't see him glide across that circle like he normally does. We'll see or spin or move with grace.
Glide?
Yes, I think he's going. He's a practitioner of the rotational. Actually.
Oh, there
But
we are.
when I used the word glide, I was referring to his graceful nature rather than
Yeah.
anything else.
He's a Joe Kovacs spinner.
But he will not be doing that today. It'll be a standing throw, as far as I know. Should still be able to throw about 16 meters. Put himself in contention maybe for a medal.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll focus on the pole vault for the moment, I guess, with no track action. We're not very far away at all, I suppose, from the next heat of the men's 200, but there is nothing happening in the pole vault, by the way, at the moment. The athletes are sitting in their socially distanced chairs and just letting a bit of time go by before we see those next attempts at 360.
Very hard to hear, just to point that out as well. Well, there's very little happening on the track. While you're social distance, as I was in school the last week for a meeting, while wearing a mask, it's incredibly difficult to carry on a conversation from 2 meters away with a mask. So that's pretty similar. Their setup they have there in terms of pole vault seating arrangements.
COVID-19 doesn't care about education, Ronan.
Well, neither do I, so that works out well.
Heat 3 of the men's 200. From lane 2, Conan O'Toole. Lane 3, Adam Halpin. Lane 4, Charles Okafor. Lane 5, Mark Smith. Lane 6, Ferdy Kinney. Lane 7, Darren Costello. And lane 8, Louis O'Connell of Lishtool.
Absolutely, you pretty much have the blinkers on there now in lane 8. You won't be able to see any athletes for the first couple of meters, but we could see the likes of Mark Smith and Charles Okafor make their way up and get into contention. Ferdy Kinney did as well, up the Wicklow man from Seacoon. He'll be in contention there as well. So your main 3 athletes here, the Mullingar Harrier, Charles. I was asking him if it's Okafor or Okafor, because the Bandon Okafors certainly pronounce it like that. The man in lane 5, or for the Raheny Shamrock athlete, Mark Smith, he's the class field 21.04, really top quality athlete. And Ferdy Kinney then from Seacoon, just outside of him. And there's a break. It looked to be from Charles Okafor there, the Mullingar Harrier, but we will see whether he... there's no bad boy pen to put him in today. He's going to be straight out the gate. If he is the culprit, we're going to see a replay here of this start, so we should be able to...
Help us out here, people. Who did it? Who done it?
It's a who done it.
It's a little riddle. We see Okafor there, lane 5.
Was it Charles Okafor in lane 4?
4, sorry.
Yeah, I know. I had the
Numbers
same confusion. Yeah,
it's upsetting.
Was it him in Santry with the break?
They changed the rules a couple of years ago about it's easier to get away with a false start these days, but your foot has to leave the block. Yeah, it's pretty blatant there. Unless someone else set him off, but it didn't look like anyone else is. Yeah, it's a red card, unfortunately, for Charles. Devastation. And for all the effort, it's a cruel thing when this happens, but he will certainly learn a lesson from this, the youngster. And better to learn it now than later in his career when he's contending for a gold medal here.
Yeah, certainly it was a ruling brought in to stop the almost tactical false starts that were happening across the board in the 100 metres in particular. But it is cruel on the likes of Charles there from Mullingar Harriers. So you see, we're going to have... Trying to decide whether we'll go to the pole vault or the 200 metres here. We'll give you an idea anyway. It is Una Bryce on the runway in the pole vault.
Yeah, Una Bryce is on the runway here. And she doesn't go clear, so...
First round attempt at 360 there for Una Bryce. A failure. At the height, not a failure in life. She's actually obviously a top quality athlete, just to clarify. And it is 360 there going at now. And we're into our blocks in the 200. So once again, O'Toole, Halpin, Okafor is gone, Smith, Kenny, Costello, and O'Connell. And the athletes just
striding around it. Obviously,
they've all broken. Oh, no, sorry.
Throw them all out. Mark Smith, of course, is the reigning indoor champion in the men's 200 metres in Ireland, and finalist 6th in the European under-20 final. That was back in 2017 in Grosseto.
Yeah, in Italy. Lovely spot.
Not that I've been there. I hear it's lovely.
Neither have I, yeah. I went around it on Google Maps. It's lovely.
That's how I go on holidays these days. Back to the pole vault, we'll get a look at this because...
That's Orla Coffey on the runway there from Carrick-Navarre, and if she can get over this, she'll definitely put serious distance between herself and Una Bryce. Una Bryce has
362. This will be a lifetime best.
Is it gone up to 362?
I think so. I think the board there, yes, does say 362, the manual board, but yeah, the digital system isn't updated, but it's just about visible. It's turned at an awkward angle, the board. Perhaps where I'm sitting is easier to see, Ronan.
Oh, yes. Excellent. I'm looking online. 362. I just zoomed in on my phone and now I've got it. So yes, it is 362. And a whirring blast of a gun there, but it was actually just a practice. There's no practice here for Coffey. It'll have to be perfect, and almost is. And she just hits that with her ankles on the way up. So they're pretty similar in terms of their ladder jumps, but Bryce came in very early and had a few failures at the early rounds. At 3 meters, she had 2 attempts and got it on her 3rd, whereas Coffey only came into play at 3:15. So she has the superior at previous rounds, so she'll get the win in this one.
Great. Sorry.
Sorry, Carl.
Great to see the youth coming through. Bryce is only 18 years old, Coffee 17, and here they are at the summit of Irish women's pole vaulting. Brilliant to see. On a side, and we do love our asides, if you ever get the chance to visit Bryce Canyon in Utah, stunning scenery, spectacular. Everyone goes to the Grand Canyon and stuff, but Bryce Canyon, the unheralded gem of American national parks.
Absolutely, and if you'd like to hear more from Carl, or if you'd like to put him on any travel shows, he'd really appreciate that. I know Catch and Thomas obviously has a bit of a monopoly on it, but I think it's time for Catch and Thomas to move on and Carl Denny to move in.
It's a stranglehold.
So back to this 200 meters, and we will give you updates from the shop, but I think they're still on their practice rounds at the moment. We'll get just an idea of the full field in that one. So this 200, as I said, O'Toole, Halpin, O'Caffer is gone, Smith, Kenny, Costello and O'Connell. So you expect Smith now with one less to worry about. Kenny definitely on his outside is the main challenger.
And a reminder that we see the pole vault here.
Bryce on her second attempt.
No, she's aborted mission there, so fear not.
No, that was, I have to say, an odd attempt. She almost threw the pole vault at the pole vault. So just a release there. You see a lot of them put the kind of sticky kind of hand gel on, which allows them to grip the pole a little bit better.
Absolutely, yeah. It's not that we really know anything about it. They like their chalk as well.
Mm.
But yeah, it's a tough thing.
I would not like to attempt it.
Renaud de Villeneuve before that. Ultimate Garden Clash a few months back ripped his hand open. They had to postpone the whole thing by a couple of weeks.
So just to clarify here as well, Carl, if you're looking at the live.athletics.ireland.ie website for the shot put at the moment, we have had 3 attempts here in the shot put, and all of them would be world records by almost 30 metres, as we see Orla Coffey here in the pole vault.
Second attempt, 362. This will be the winning of it if she gets it. Close. Better attempt, I think, but ultimately disappointment.
Yeah, it's still in the lead in that one due to her earlier, or lack of failures in earlier attempts. But yeah, that shot put, we've got a big field in this one. 3 of the athletes have thrown over 55 metres in it, so
that's not bad. Ryan Krauser thought he was good with his 22-metre throws last night. He's a mug. Absolute mug.
But to give you the full field in this one, Larry O'Grady from Moore Abbey Milers AC, Mark Tierney from Nina Olympic, Sean Bernock, obviously a stalwart of the throws scene in Ireland over the years, Galway City Harriers, Michael Sheeran, the under-23 athlete from Brow Rangers AC, Conor O'Reilly from Slicoulin, John Kelly and James Kelly from Finn Valley, Thomas McGrain from St. Peter's AC, Gavin McLaughlin from Finn Valley, Brendan Staunton from Galway City Harriers, John Dwyer from Templemore, Sean Carlin from Neil Olympic, and Patrick Corrigan, the under-23 athlete from Suncroft AC. So we hope to bring you results from that throughout the day. On track now, O'Toole, Halpin, Smith, Kenny, Costello and O'Connell. Lane 4 is empty. It was Charles O'Caffer of Mullingar Harriers. So settling into their blocks now.
Yeah, Mark Smith certainly going to be the man to watch here. And a reminder that the fastest time qualifier spots at the moment are being filled by Jack Manning on 22.14 and Evan Crotty on 22.08. But they're movable. But the one way to make sure you're definitely going to be in the final is to get to that line in front. And that's what Mark Smith in lane 5 will be trying to do. He's out to a great start there. Already up on Ferdia Kenny outside it. And indeed Darren Costello eating up the stagger Mark Smith. He is really flying around that bend, and he can probably start shutting it down once he turns for home here, because he's got about a 6-7 metre lead maybe over Ferdia Kenny. Mark Smith looking majestic, the long striding athlete. Looks like a middle distance runner, but it's far from middle distance speed. This is pure sprint speed by Mark Smith. 21.61. Is that the fastest time I think we've seen? No, Marcus Lawler went slightly quicker with 21.50, but that looked facile for the Raheny man.
I don't think I've ever seen an athlete as relaxed over 200 metres there. It was kind of machine-like. There was no inefficiencies whatsoever to the untrained eye, which my eye is. He looked tremendous. So you see the third attempt here from Una Bryce in the pole vault.
Here we are. We picked it up just in time. Great work by Gerard Emmerman. And
fortunately a failure at that 362 height, so Coffey has the win in this one, and she has no pressure on her for this third and final attempt of her own at 362. So She had less failures in the early rounds, so she is going to get the win in this one, but they both jumped over the 350.
Sorry. Yeah, it's great. It's a great competition. Sorry, we're just catching up on some of your comments here, so appreciate all of them coming in as we scramble between the live streams and the results pages. But thank you for reminding us. We're assuming it's a relative of Una Bryce. Eva Bryce says she's only 16, so it's even more impressive by the Leavale woman.
Yeah, very young field here, and this is the elder athlete, the 17-year-old Orla Coffey, who's got the win in this one, and this will be a vault with no pressure here. She's got the W in the competition, improvement from her silver medal last year, getting up for gold here. The athlete from Carrignare in North Cork.
So we've talked about the precocity of youth. It's even more precocious than we thought it was. And what a competition we've seen. A great head-to-head here to finish things off.
Yeah,
Can
Bryce coming in those early rounds, and but the classy Orla Coffey almost making it. She had 3 very good attempts at that height of 362, very close to her lifetime best, but gets the win anyway from her earlier attempts.
Yeah, and great to see the round of applause, an appreciative round of applause there from all her rivals and indeed the other athletes who are up on the hill here. They'll be readying themselves to compete themselves, and if you are, of course, an under-18 athlete this weekend, due to the lesser numbers, you are allowed to have a parent or a guardian accompany you here, so perhaps a bit of age doctoring going on running. Bring in a coach. Oh, I swear, I'm 16.
Absolutely.
We kid, of course. So we'll
Well,
tee up there,
not
a
100%.
replay of Mark Smith in that 200 metres, because it was so impressive. It's worth a look back and look at that as he rips around the bend. And really, from here, his work is done, but he certainly stays up to his running.
Yeah, and as I said, looks
It's
very
like a
efficient.
juggernaut. It's
You
like
almost-
the Orient Express, one of those old steam
looks
trains
a
or
little
something
bit
with the pistons going vertical. It's
I
like
think
how
it
every 10-year-old is taught to sprint.
Looks a bit like the Terminator, kind of almost in terms of
T1000
T1000, yeah.
or T2000. Who was the
The
bad guy in
yeah.
Terminator 2?
I think it was T1000. I don't think he had a name. It was, but that
Well, he
T2000.
shapeshifted into every form, so
He
you couldn't
did.
really call him a name, or he'd be something else. You'd be like, oh, there you are now, pretending to be Arnold Schwarzenegger, and we thought you were someone else a minute ago.
You hold the
Then
fort
you're
there.
then
Oh.
you're molten metal all of a sudden and sliding under doors and reshaping to stick a spike in your eye. Great movie, Terminator 2. Highly recommend to any youngsters out there who haven't seen it.
Yeah, 4 out of 5 stars. Colin's given it on Rotten Tomatoes there this morning, so he's pretty happy with that. So men's 200, heat 4. Rory Clother from Emerald AC, Alex Ryan from Dundrum AC, the Dundrum in Tipperary, as opposed to the shopping centre. Christopher O'Donnell, the winner of the 400 last week from North Sligo. He's an interesting entrant in this one, and will be trying to get down over that half-lap distance against his rivals. Rory Maher from Galway City Harriers, Adam Murphy from St. Lawrence O'Toole AC, David Haid also of St. Lawrence O'Toole AC, and Michael Deedy from Menapians out in lane 8. So the ones to watch in this one, you'll be looking really at Christopher O'Donnell being the major favourite here, and Adam Murphy in lane 6 as well from St. Lawrence O'Toole will feature. Robert Maher from Galway City Harriers is just outside that 22-second barrier, so he may need to run a PB in order to be able to jump into the automatic qualifying spot. You'd expect Christopher O'Donnell to get that, though.
Yeah, you certainly would. Confirming the times there from Heat 3, the official results are now through. Mark Smith, 21.60 officially, he's in. And Ferdy Kenny second in 22.82. Adam Halpin third with 23.59. Not going to be quick enough to qualify, unfortunately, for Ferdy Kenny and Adam Halpin. But one opportunity or one window closes, another one opens. And it's still staying open for Evan Crotty of Emerald AC and Jack Manning of Kilkenny City Harriers, because with their respective 22.08 and 22.14, they're still in those time qualifier spots for the final this afternoon. And how they'd love to get a lane on that track. If conditions stay like this and there's a bit of a tailwind, it could be wonderful. We're seeing some very calm conditions here. 0.1 tailwind in the first heat, 0.6 in the second, 0.8 in the third. So it's nice calm conditions, and every sprinter loves a bit of sun on their back, especially in Ireland, and these turgid temperatures is all you could call them. So it's a beautiful day for sprinting and running here in Morton Stadium. And how fast can Christopher O'Donnell go? Lane 4 here. He'll certainly be running a very fast last 100.
He certainly will, and you'd expect that he'll have that strength from the 400-meter distance and be able to bring that into play here against these rivals. Should be a cracking final. I mean, with the likes of Robert McDonnell to come in heat 5 as well, who's ran under 22 seconds, and Paul Costello as well. And then in heat 6 then, the likes of Paul Murphy, who was third in that 400 metres last week, and Paul McDermott of the North Harriers. So in this one, Clogher, Ryan, O'Donnell, Maher, Murphy, Haid and Deedy, and it is Adam Murphy out really strongly there, but O'Donnell just on the inside from North Sligo, absolutely storming around that bend, and he's got about a metre or two lead on Murphy, but it is O'Donnell with 50 metres left to run, striding purposely away, and he's got 2 or 3 metres on Murphy, and in third place it is the Galway City Harrier Robert Maher, but 21.54, very close, second fastest time of these 200s, just behind that Marcus Lawler 21.50 from earlier on, but O'Donnell looking tremendous there as well. Murphy, who got out really strongly, will be hoping to get a fastest qualifier spot.
The wind is 0.9, and I can confirm if that's not rounded up in harsh circumstances, that's a lifetime best for Christopher O'Donnell in a heat. It's a measure of the class. His previous best is 21.57 running Tullamore a few years back. What we saw last week, his speed and his strength is as good as ever, and it clearly is there. Sometimes in heats it's obviously beneficial to sprinters. Without the pressure of athletes around you, you can relax and, as they love to say in the sprinting world, execute that little bit better. But the 22-year-old there will await confirmation. The wind is perfect, 0.8 tailwind, so we'll just await confirmation there, but that looks like a lifetime best for Chris O'Donnell, and certainly entering the chat for the medals later on. But there's going to be a lot of very good athletes also staking their claim in that.
Certainly we have the women's pole vault presentation now. It is an old Cork affair. 3 different Cork clubs here, and it is Ciara Hickey is going to get the bronze medal there from Blarney and Ascara. And then in second place it is Leave LAC's Una Bryce. She jumped 350, Ciara Hickey getting over 340, and then also getting over 350 is the winner from Cargnavar, Orla Coffey. So as a youth, I ran many across country in Cargnavar. It's pretty much the classic first day of the county championships in Cork was in Cargnavar, but for them to have pole vaulters now and a national champion pole vaulter is incredible work there from Cargnavar.
It's an extremely difficult course, have to say. Rival perhaps only by Spencil Hill in Munster terms.
Give me a shiver there, so you did. See Eamon Flanagan down there as well, the Youghal AC man. He is a pole vault supremo, and you see Cahill is going to go down and try and get a word with Orla Coffey there, the Cargnavar national champion here in the women's pole vault. We're just going to see that 200 metres from Christopher O'Donnell here, 21.54 in the end for O'Donnell there. Centre of your shot, the tanned athlete in the white and the black. Just on the right of your shot there now, Murphy, the taller athlete from St. Lawrence, who looked like he was running really strongly as well, and you'd expect him to be close to that fastest qualifier spot, but it was O'Donnell. Storming finish there from O'Donnell with the win, and the big Q, as they say, qualifying into that final. And a red hot final is going to be later today. So at the moment, Marcus Lawler is our qualifier from that first heat, 21.50, fastest qualifier today. Stephen Gaffney then with a 21.82. Third heat was 21.60 from Mark Smith, and then fourth heat was Christopher O'Donnell. We haven't got a full update on the results in that one yet, but Jack Manning with 22.14 from that first heat, and Evan Crotty with 22.08 from that second heat. They are the men in the positions at the moment, that 2 fastest qualifiers. So it is first in every heat and then 2 fastest qualifiers into this final. On to heat 5 now, and still in the warm-up zone for the shot put as well, so we will give you those results as they come in. The shot put taken from the 16-pound cannonball that was used in military terms, and this competition going off with military precision here later today. It's going to be a top-class competition with the 2 Kellys and Bernock all in there. So heat 5, Shane Sheridan, Charlie Bastow, Aaron Tierney-Smith, Paul Costello, Robert McDonnell, and Emmanuel Ilori and Sean Manny from Listool AC out in lane 8. You'd expect to see Paul Costello, lane 5, Emerald AC, and Robert McDonald from Galaxy Harriers in the mix on this one. And we have a result, Adam Murphy 22.09 in Heat 4. So at the moment, himself and Evan Crotty have nudged out Jack Manning from that first heat. The under 23 athlete may still be able to contend himself with an under 23 medal. And Mark Switt is under 23, as is Christopher O'Donnell. So depending on Aaron Tierney-Smith in that last heat and fifth heat, and then Paul McDermott, we may see a medal going Jack Manning's way for his heat performance. So fifth heat, I'm sorry to give you the rest of that. He's Robert Maher fourth, Clotter fourth, in fact, Michael Deedy fifth, and David Hayde then in sixth place. So on this one, it's going to be Sheridan, Bastow, Tierney Smith, Costello, McDonald, Elorey, and Sean Manny. So that final will come in session 9. So we have 2 more heats in this, and then we have the men's shot put to come. So that competition there starting at 12:35, which is right now. So yeah, at least you can see the officials starting to get the flags going. So we should see some performances from that shot put very shortly, and we are going to bring you that whole competition after the conclusion of these 200 meters. We're going to have the full shot put coming your way, testing the knowledge of Caldini on Irish shot put.
Pro level. I cleared Irish shot putting computer game. Great chat with Orla Coffey there. That'll soon be going up on the Athletics Ireland. Have you given the full line up here before I go off on an aside?
Yeah, I'll do it again though. Just for,
do it,
for,
yeah. We'll
for
focus on that, and then I'll tell the comeback tale of Orla Coffey.
Oh, we might just call the race as well. That might be a good idea. No? Shane Sheridan, Charles Bastow, Charlie Bastow, I gave him his full and proper title there, Charles, Aaron Tierney-Smith, Paul Costello, Robin McDonald, Emmanuel Elorey, and Sean Manny. So it looks like we have the full field in this one. Shane Sheridan, sorry, of DSD in lane 2 there. So lane 1 not being used. So Costello and McDonald out well here. The tall athlete Costello there from Emerald AC, striding well, coming into the home straight, trying to catch up on McDonald there, the 21.77 athlete who is still in the lead going into this home straight. It looks like McDonald is going to have to try and hold off Costello here over this last couple of meters. McDonald's looking very, very strong over that last 20-30 meters. Yeah, very, very slight athlete, 21.81, and he will have got the qualifying spot in that one. And
I would
McDonald
suspect that Paul Costello has got in quick enough in second. It's 21.81 plus 1.0 was the win there. So their wins are creeping up in strength here, but they're still ideal. We'll find out. Adam Murphy clocked 22.09 to finish second in the last heat. And Evan Crotty with 22.08. The first heat runner-up, Jack Manning, has been deposed with his 22.14. So we'll wait the confirmation of that time for Paul Costello, but no doubt about the winner run.
Yeah, you'd expect Costello to get into the mix in that one, but McDonald 21.77 at his best, and running very strongly. They're very close to that, and had to be to get the automatic qualifier spot. And that extremely slight athlete. I didn't expect him to be as slight as he came around the bend there, but in comparison to Paul Costello, certainly more to come from him from a power perspective. You'd expect over the next couple of years, very similar to Mark Smith.
Very composed sprinting and very classy sprinting. To pick up where I left off before that race, Orla Coffey, I mean, it was an impressive competition, full stop. But when you find out what she's come back from this winter, it's even more impressive. She got a stress fracture in her back early. I think it was earlier this year or late last year. So, needless to say, she was immobilized essentially for quite a few months with that. She had an MRI scan and a CAT scan, and essentially, of course, couldn't do anything for quite a while. And said she got back to health this summer, and I think that was only about, she said, 6 or 7 weeks training. She accomplished that, what was her first national senior title. Outstanding comeback from Orla Coffey, and the smile was very wide as Morton Stadium there when she was chatting about her comeback, and to be here at the top step of the podium. Obviously, as a 17-year-old about to turn 18, she was allowed to have one parent or guardian here, and that was her dad, who was standing alongside, and he was absolutely delighted as well, dressed up in the face mask and stuff, but he was smiling with his eyes as I saw him as they met each other after. So a brilliant day for the Coffey family. Well done. What a comeback.
See a big throw there. I'm not too sure which of the Kellys that was. I think it was John Kelly, but we'll get certainty on that one. The previous throw was from Conor O'Reilly from Sleecoolin AC. So big throw there. And the results, as of yet, not. That's the first couple of throws, but as I said to you earlier, we've got some strange 55-metre throws in there, which are obviously incorrect on our Athletics Ireland page. But we will see, hopefully over the next few minutes, a full entry list or a full start list there. This looks like it is Gavin McLaughlin of Finn Valley getting ready to throw in this men's shot put. And a short enough throw there from McLaughlin. But good to see him out competing here. Masters athlete. So we'll see the two Kellys in that one, John and James Kelly. James, an under-23 athlete still, and Sean Burnock. He said Ryan Krauser yesterday, 6 throws over 22 metres. So certainly good time for worldwide throwing and really good competition here as well. This could be James Kelly. Rotational and a fairly big throw as well there from looks to be the Finn Valley athlete. So they can't be 100% sure on those at the moment. We'll get you the exact lineup on this when it comes through on our feed here. It's going to be a good shot put competition, and we'd expect the winning throw to be in around 18 metres. We also have the men's pole vault coming your way as well over the next half an hour, as well as the final heat of the men's 200 metres. Another big throw there in the shot put. I think we've got 3 Finn Valley athletes in this one. I don't think the athlete who threw in the previous round was a Finn Valley athlete. So we got 3, John Kelly, James Kelly, and Gavin McLaughlin. So said we will get names and numbers, addresses, and favourite food types as soon as we can. Might even take a little run down and get an idea of the numbers. As we see the Templemore athlete, John Dwyer, getting ready to throw here. Will he use the rotational, or will we see a glide here from John Dwyer? Looks like we're going to see a glide. It is a glide. And a reasonably big throw there. Well over the 10 metres. I'd say in around 12, 13 metres from John Dwyer of Templemore. All the way from Tipperary. Looks like we're going to have another Tipperary athlete up next from Nina Olympic. And that is Mark Tierney. Getting ready to throw here. So we will bring you heat 6 of that 200 as well, which has Owen Shanley in lane 3, Connor Fox, the running Fox from Dunor Harriers here in lane 4, Paul Murphy, bronze medal in that 400 metres last week from Ferrybank AC, and Paul McDermott from Dunor Harriers. Will he be able to follow Aoife Lynch from earlier on? The Dunor Harrier who won the women's 200 metre heat, third heat earlier. Owen Kenny then from Waterford AC, the Daisha man out in lane 7, and Shane Webb then from Gowran AC. So Shane Webb looks like he's not wearing the usual red of that club. So getting into their blocks here, the men's final heat in the 200, so it's about 22.08 we reckon, or 22.09 is that last qualifying spot. So Paul Murphy and Paul McDermott will be battling it out here over 200 metres, trying to get that automatic qualifying spot. You can see a lot of quick times here today over 200 metres. And Murphy out strongly, the 400 metre athlete, but McDermott from Dunor Harriers is out even stronger, and he is already eating up the ground on the rest of the field. As you come into the straight here, McDermott is up and full of running. Murphy struggling to hang on at the moment, but he'll use his superior 400 metre ability over this last 50 metres, and Murphy is coming strongly here. It's going to be a cracking finish. McDermott is hanging on. It's going to be on the line. Murphy and McDermott, so hard to tell there, 22.08. So they should all things being equal, both should qualify here. It's going to be extremely tight for that fast qualifier. Evan Crotty and a name whose name escapes me, Murphy, in that heat 5 or heat 4. They were very close there to that, so we could have one of these two athletes, Paul McDermott and Paul Murphy, maybe 100 of a second off winning and getting an automatic qualifier spot, and 100 of a second off getting the automatic.
Yeah, we'll tee up the replay here so you can have a look back in it and decide for yourself. The fastest time qualifiers at the moment, again, like we said, Adam Murphy 22:09, Evan Crotty 22:08.
Yeah, it's going to be incredibly tight.
22:08, the clock stopped at, but this was so close. It could easily be corrected. It could easily be a 22:06 or 7 as well as a 22:10, depending. But we'll wait for that to come through because it's going to be so close for. If it was Paul Murphy indeed who finished second. Great comeback already from the Ferrybank man to get a medal last week in the 400 metres.
Yeah, he looked really strong there over the last 50 metres, and you'd expect that he will be able to come. If he does make that final, that 200 will have had very little effect on him going forward into the afternoon. McDermott, though, looking really, really quick over that first 50, 60 metres, and Murphy then coming back at him over that last 50. So incredibly tight between those two athletes. Really excited to see who actually got through in that final heat.
Yeah, that was a thriller. We'll give you that result when we have it. That interview with Orla Coffey is now up on Athletics Ireland's social media platforms, I think. It's slowly going to Instagram. Is it on Twitter? Is it? Please do call me out if I have any bad spelling mistakes and stuff. Factual mistakes. It happens. But Orla Coffey, you can see it's great to see the joy on athletes' faces and athletes who are willing to show their emotions. It's what the sport needs, and well, I think even if Orla Coffey was trying to keep it in, she couldn't keep it in. I'm sure 3 months ago she probably thought she wouldn't even be here. And that's not because of lockdown, that's because of injury issues. But here she was off 6-7 weeks training, national senior champion. Brilliant stuff from the 17-year-old Cork woman.
See Sean Murdoch there in the background. I haven't caught one of his throws yet, but that is John Kelly, I think, from Finn Valley there with a massive throw on that one. He is the medal favourite, the gold medal favourite in that men's shot. But just to give you an idea there, Jack Manning in that first heat, 22:14. He was in the fast qualifying spot for some time. Evan Crotty with that 22:08. And then we go to Adam Murphy with 22:09. So we've got 0.05 of a second between those three. And then you add in Paul Costello at 22:10. And we'll find out in this final heat whether or not Paul Murphy or Paul McDermott got in as that fast qualifier. So it's going to be, even Jack Manning is going to feel hard done by with 22:14, even though he's actually several places off that fast qualifier spot. It's that close.
Certainly, yeah, we'll await that. We'll be hitting refresh here as fast as we can, but I think it refreshes automatically.
I have it. It's 22:06 from Paul Murphy in second place, so that gives Paul McDermott the win there, 22:06. So both those athletes getting through to the final. Paul Murphy as a fastest qualifier, and unfortunately for not Paul Costello, it's unfortunately missing out as well, but Adam Murphy with 22:09 misses out by 0.03 of a second, and our man Evan Crotty, who must have been sweating.
Yeah, heat 2, heat 4 races to sit and watch in that position. And he's in.
So fantastic. To be honest, that was just the heat, Scott. Imagine what it's going to be for the final later on.
Wait,
between
one
all
person?
those athletes.
Yes, Evan Crotty is in, just to confirm. Yeah, it shows that everyone had to run all out there in those heats, apart from obviously the winners. But everyone else had to go max to the line. Tremendous racing all round. Really enjoyable heats there of the men's 200 metres. And we'll be looking forward to that final later on. And just if you're wondering, we obviously saw 22:08 flash up on the clock, and there was 0.02 of a second between them.
Sorry.
Between Paul McDermott and Paul Murphy. That would have been a fun photo finish to look at. Even closer than the Paul Robinson Sean Tobin showdown last week. And if you're wondering why it's 22:06, we'll give the lesson that we often give.
You
the
love
tutorial
this, love it.
that the world of athletics doesn't want, but it's the one it needs. And people always talk about rounding down and rounding up, but times are not rounded down or rounded up. They're corrected.
Yeah, it's good to see that time rounded up down there, though.
Stop it. Don't make me angry. I'll go on strike. But yeah, the time you see flash up on the clock after finish is when the laser is broken at the finish, and that could be an arm or a foot or anything. stopping that clock then. But obviously the official time has to be gauged off when your torso, the first part of your torso across the line, whether that's your shoulder or your chest or your deltoid, etc. But yeah, wait, where's the deltoid again?
I have no idea.
You study biology. You teach biology, don't you?
But
anyway,
I don't think I have
that's
a deltoid.
measured off the photo finish, and then it usually takes a minute or so, and then they'll line that line up to wherever your torso crossed the line. So it's corrected. It's not rounded up, and which is why you often see those differences in a few hundredths between the unofficial time at the finish and the official time in the results.
Fantastic information there.
I'm here all week.
He's
Literally.
available for birthday parties.
I
and
live
bar
here.
mitzvahs as
I
well.
live across the road.
So John Kelly and James Kelly, we haven't got any results from them at the moment, and we're hoping to get as many results to you as possible. Yes, it's yet to be updated here for us, but I tell you that the two Kelly brothers are throwing some serious distances here in this men's shot put. Up next is going to be John Dwyer of Templemore AC. So Dwyer with a decent throw in the first round, in around 12, 13 meters. As I said, we haven't got full results, or any results, in fact, from this so far. Good throw from Dwyer again. Looks to be over that 10-meter barrier. And we will try and clarify, because there are 3 Finn Valley athletes in this. Two brothers and Gavin McLaughlin.
Yeah, John Kelly certainly going to be the favourite for gold here. He's been in brilliant form this summer. Competing up in Sweden, I believe, a lot.
Yeah, and he'll be trying to chase down now over the next couple of years that national record of Paul Quirk, the 1992 Barcelona Olympian. 20:04 he threw. And his son, Colin Quirk, getting the win in the discus yesterday. A fantastic performance. But this is Mark Tierney here of... Sorry, it could be Sean Carlin of Nina Olympic. Just going outside the sector there.
Has the nimble feet there from the official getting out of the way of that. As you said, we will give you these results as soon as we have them, but we're up here in the stands and we're not yet privy until the officials load them into the results system.
We're as clueless as you at home in terms
we will
of the
if they still aren't being loaded in. We'll take a trip down there and try and find out and have a snoop over the shoulders of the officials and try not to get hit by that quite large shot put.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go down there and risk my life, Carl, and find out exactly what's going on in that shot put.
Excellent, do it. So we'll see Ronan Duggan soon going on camera in his Munster rugby top. Because yes, here is Sean Bernock, won championship already. It's a very unusual technique relative to many others. What we believe he is carrying an injury, so it very much explains why he's not putting pressure on that lower leg. And Sean Bernock, I mean, the guy he's a production line of national titles. He has 16 of them in total. Can he get a 7th here? An outstanding throw. He's 41 years old now, but you wouldn't know it. He just racks up those national titles, whether it's weight for height or weight for distance or shot put. So yeah, it's a great shot put showdown we're going to see, and it's great that the track events have concluded so we can give it our full focus now over these final few rounds. Again, perhaps it's a pity we don't have those live distances going into the system. But it's obviously a lot of work for officials as well to try and measure and record them and enter in the system in live time. They have been doing it for many other events, so the system might hopefully be getting up and running down there. But if not, we'll have Ronan Duggan, our live reporter, feeding back some updates. We'll just remind him perhaps through the wonders of WhatsApp, etc. We'll give you as much info as we possibly can about that men's shot put showdown. Will it be heading west to Galway, or will it be heading to the northwest of Finn Valley? We've already seen Finn Valley take down a title in the women's high jump through Summer Lecky. And a very different discipline. A test of pure power and strength here. We'll hopefully see it. Again, excellent throw there. Looks well beyond the 15-meter mark. It's an outstanding singlet, you have to say as well, Finn Valley. That indeed was our favourite, John Kelly. And that looked well beyond the 15, 16 metre mark. Not that there is a mark on the track there, but John Kelly really, he's got 3 national titles to his name already. He looks to be well on his way to a 4th. He threw 1862 earlier this year in Sweden. As we see there is Ronan Duggan in that red. He is liaising with the officials, annoying them as it were. That is my co-commentator. He is seeking out the information that we need and want and demand, as it were. Ronan is jotting notes. He may be drawing pictures, playing a game of X's nose. But yeah, just going back to John Kelly. If there's an Irish man to challenge that record belonging to Paul Quirk, you would think it's him, the 24-year-old John Kelly. 3 national titles. He was second in this last year, but he looks like he's going to take some stopping this year. And Ronan Duggan is making his way back because I see the live results system is still not updating. This is our 3rd Finn Valley man, Gavin McLaughlin, coming into the shot put circle here. We'll see what he can manage. It's great that these throwers get their chance in the arena and the shot, but it was a pity the discus throwers and the hammer throwers couldn't. But at least the shot putters are having their day inside Morton Stadium rather than the outer throwing circles. But I guess this year especially it's much the same given the lack of crowds and lack of coaches not being allowed. So that was Gavin McLaughlin of Finn Valley, I think. And this will be... Sorry, this is Gavin McLaughlin of Finn Valley. Next into the circle, Sean Bernock. His best is quite similar to John Kelly's with 1830. That dates back 2 years to 2018. So if they both produce their best, it'll be a great showdown. Bad news for you, Ronan. I've only just seen a comment that asked you to ask the guy in white. So Gavin McLaughlin in the circle. 1 second. We'll keep an eye on this throw because it's a good one. It's probably in and around the 16 metre mark, you would think, but that's looking from a very unofficial eye there. So Ronan, you have news for us finally, and again we apologise for the lack of live scores going into the system. But did you rustle a few feathers down there?
I did. I won't help you on the Gavin McLaughlin front because his name was actually under the official's arm at the time, so I can't help you there. But I can tell you that John Kelly has 2 throws of 1774, and we should see them updated very shortly on the live link. 1774 he's thrown twice, and he is in the lead in that competition. His younger brother then, James Kelly, the 23 athlete, 1575 he's thrown. And Sean Bernock there is actually in second place with that standing throw of 1626, which is obviously incredible. That's John Dwyer there of Templemore AC.
Yeah, looked a very good effort there from him. Fingers crossed that they will be starting to load into the system those scores so we can follow this in real time. The men's pole vaulters are also warming up.
Yeah, I can tell you they are into the final round, the final 3 rounds there as well. These are all I think 5th round throws. I think we might be on there since I came back.
We do have to try and keep an eye. They did briefly turn this scoreboard there, I suppose. You can see it on the right hand side of that shot. But unfortunately, I think that it's also being used to show the throwers who are all positioned opposite us. You can see the little scoreboard there. It's just on the tripod there towards the right of the screen. They give it a quick glance at it and then they turn it back. So that would be a place to keep your eyes before these live results do go in. But yeah, it looks for all the world like the favourite is obliging at the moment anyway, running John Kelly on his way to what could be his 4th national title overall.
Yeah, it's going to be a really interesting finish there as well to see whether Sean Bernock with that standing throw can pick up a silver medal. He's obviously not going to be able to challenge John Kelly, but he is challenging James Kelly at the moment, who's thrown 1574 for that 3rd place. And said Gavin McLaughlin, I don't have a result for him at the moment, but he's throwing very well as well, and he's in that final 8. So he's in the mix there.
Yeah, brothers in arms. And their arms will be putting all the power they can into these putts.
Putting
It's one of
all
the
the
most
power. Yeah, fair play.
misspelled words in the sport of athletics is shot put. People love the second tee and the putt, but you don't put the shot, you put it.
Yeah, look, it's riveting stuff here from us, obviously, but it's some tremendous athletics going on here for those shot put and pole vault aficionados. We'll get an idea of that. Shot put, that pole vault competition as well, very shortly. Gavin McLaughlin said the 23-year-old athlete in that one, his best, all-time best is an indoor throw in 2017 of 14.78. He's only thrown 13.16 so far this year, so he'll be down in 4th, 5th place, battling it out with the likes of John Dwyer there, Templemore athlete at the moment. But the big three, in terms of stature and in terms of their ability here, in terms of the shot
And
put.
the delay we're seeing here is because we have 3 rounds complete and the officials are just liaising, a word I hate, at the moment to figure out the running order. Obviously they reverse the running order, or run it in reverse order, so the champion goes last, or at least the leader goes last, as we go through this second half of the competition. It'll be a riveting conclusion here. Can anyone depose John Kelly at the head of the standings, or is the gold headed back to the hills of Donegal?
And also Sean Brannock with that injury, does he in the final round, if he's in contention and still has that silver medal, does he throw out and try and go for that rotational technique and risk injury for the gold, knowing that there are probably very few shot put competitions coming up over the next say 6 months?
Yeah, it's certainly a reasonable if he does, I suppose, but you don't want to also do yourself lasting damage, and injuries are no fun at any time, but certainly during lockdown it's nice to be able to get out and train and all that. And if there is a dark winter ahead for Ireland, it'd be an awful thing to carry a injury into that and to not have the fundamental joy it is to be able to exercise.
Yeah, I would say I got a lot of information out of Sean there, but I said, how are you getting on, Sean? And he said, grand, yeah, how's things? As I went by. So that was probably the height of the analysis we had from myself, really. And
yeah, that was top stuff.
yeah,
Thanks for making the trip. We also have to wait for distance later, so perhaps Sean Brannock will be back in that if his injury allows and his health allows, try and claim yet another national title. But all he'll be worried about right now is trying to throw in and around that 18-metre mark, and if he can do that, he'll be putting it up to John Kelly, who looks to, at the moment anyway, be roaring to gold. But James Kelly, I'm sure, will be having a say. The indoor national champion through 15:47 did James Kelly, the younger brother, earlier this year. Personal best. So all to play for here as we gear up for these final 3 rounds. And we see our first thrower is indeed coming into the circle at long last.
certainly, and we'll give you updates on that as soon as we get the full results or in entire running order, and obviously the men's pole vault coming up as well in the second session. Cathal, it doesn't seem down here in our first session. Even though
it is the second session. It's they're only warming up. They are allowed into the arena. It's the men's pole vault will be kicking off at 2 p.m. That will start proceedings in our second session, and on the track at 2 p.m. it'll be the women's 3,000 meter steeplechase. So we'll be on this stream until the conclusion of this men's shot put, and then we'll be going off air for a while whenever that is concluded, probably for maybe 20 minutes or so, and then we'll be on the final stream, session 9, to bring things home, these national championships 2020.
Yes, it looks like the Nina Olympic athlete there. Not sure if that's Mark Tierney or Sean Carlin.
Is indeed Mark Tierney, out to around the 10 metre.
Yeah, so decent throw there. He's down the lower echelons of this shot put competition. It's going to be a riveting finish. You see Sean Brannock there in the background of her shot. Just relaxing. Slee Coolan's Conor O'Kelly as well.
9:58 there, as we can see that scoreboard helpfully turned in our direction. Again, it's fair play to the official trying to keep us updated.
Yeah, as I said on the way down there, I said we're talking even more nonsense than usual. We don't know what the results are.
Help
we can't
us.
even rely on that.
The shot putters in Ireland, I'm sure, are kicking their screens, going, "Tell us what's happening. Tell us the distances," and we'll endeavour to do our best here through the afternoon.
Yeah, this is Conor O'Reilly now stepping up from Slicool and AC, the Wicklow man, down from the mountains, and mounting a challenge here in the shot put. It looks like a decent throw outside the 10 metres there. So decent enough effort. Should see the officials spin that around for us there now very shortly.
As it goes in, we're using our eyes here. 9:36 that was.
So here's the Templemore man, John Dwyer, and I will conclude that John Dwyer is now in 6th place, is he? We had... he is in 5th place. John Dwyer of Templemore. So decent effort there from John Dwyer. So that was John Dwyer, 5th place John Dwyer there. And we're going to see Gavin McLaughlin getting up here now. He's at his best, a 14-metre man. Tall athlete, very powerfully built. He is Gavin McLaughlin there. He's just steadying himself. The Finn Valley man. Finn Valley were hoping to make it a 1-2-3, but just in the background there you can see Sean Burnock, stalwart of the throws seen in Ireland. Just showing standing throws today, but he's throwing 16.26. So here goes McLaughlin, hoping to get out over that 14 metres. That's a serious effort from McLaughlin, and it's much bigger than his previous efforts. So might have tried to catch James Kelly there, who's shown 15.75 after 3 rounds. He had 15.75 on the books, and he's up next. But that's a big throw from McLaughlin, and hopefully we'll catch exactly how far that throw was. Got a big reveal here from the official. Very slow reveal. 14.61, which I think is a lifetime best for McLaughlin. He's delighted with that. Hasn't put him in the medal contention, but fantastic throw nonetheless, and a personal best according to our records here on McLaughlin. Up next is James Kelly, the under-23 athlete, one of the only under-23 athlete in this field. And Kelly, that rotational spin technique, a decent throw there. He's got to get up into the 16-metre zone to challenge Sean Burnock, but got a red flag on that one, but I think they're measuring anyway. I saw a red flag go up from the official here off screen. Yep, red flag has gone up. I think they might be measuring anyway, because it is a big throw from James Kelly, the under-23 athlete. He's going to win that under-23 title, but he is in 3rd place with a throw of 15.75. Trying to catch Sean Burnock and his brother John Kelly, current leader, the only man over 17 metres, and he's done it 3 times so far in this competition. All 3 throws over 17 metres. Massive throws from John Kelly. So even though we measured that, we didn't get an official or a look at what that was. Even I know it was a foul, but just to keep you updated on his progress. If he get it right now in the latter rounds, we might see James Kelly take on his brother John Kelly and take on Sean Burnock, but you'd expect the likes of Sean Burnock to throw out another big throw here. Once again, doing a standing throw has a little bit of an injury at the moment, so it's going to be incredible performance here from Sean Burnock if he can pick up the silver medal. He may even challenge for gold from a standing throw. Just shows his power, strength.
Yeah, it's an outstanding feat to be able to throw that far. Look how far it goes from what is essentially a swaying static position. It's outstanding. Earlier this year I interviewed Joe Kovacs, the reigning world champion in the shot put, and he was explaining the kind of things that go into making and trying to give this idiot a basic understanding of proper shot put technique, but he did speak about how
the idiot you're referring to is yourself.
Yes.
Joe Kovacs, just to clarify.
Yes, clearly.
15.71 there, from Sean Burnock.
Yeah, outstanding stuff from Sean Burnock. But Kovacs did speak about how he, in the shot put, you want to sprint down into the throw, essentially. So it is almost like a running motion that the power is generated downwards in that first kind of phase of it, and then upwards. But Sean Burnock, of course, is missing that earlier phase.
Certainly is. Man who isn't is John Kelly here. 1774 twice, and he's absolutely delighted with that.
He has nailed it.
That is huge.
You can see visually just how far that went, and we'll await the score. It's been measured here. That was massive. And
I feel
think
like I want John Kelly to announce my entrance to every room by roaring like that. It's outstanding. He's absolutely delighted with himself there.
Yeah, and he's waiting, and he sees it. We'll wait for it to spin on that. There it is.
Huge.
18:22 for John Kelly. Wow.
So it's first time over 18 in this competition. He's thrown 1774 twice, and he had another throw over 17 meters as well. And he's absolutely justified in his celebrations there. First time over 18 in this competition. Massive throw.
Yeah, he's done it a few times this year. Remarkable consistency. In fact, every competition he's done this year has been over 18 meters, and he's done about 10 of them. So outstanding consistency from John Kelly. You can bank on that 80-meter throw, and here it was. He waited until this round, and he produced it. And now we're back to the start again. Reverse order, as it was at the halfway point, as we kick things off again.
Just get an idea of who that is. I think, as I said, our results are not updating. The only two, I'm going to conclude that he's not an under 23 athlete, which is Michael Sheeran. So we're looking at either Thomas McGrain from St. Peter's AC or Larry O'Grady from Morabbey Milers AC. Throwing there. But no doubt about John Kelly there. That was a 793 throw from that athlete. Let's see him competing here today. And here is the Nina Olympic man. So that is Sean Carlin, you reckon, from Nina Olympic.
Yeah,
Decent
familiar
throw.
strip.
He's in 7th in this competition. There are 2 Nina Olympic athletes entered in this. Martini's attorneys in there as well, but he doesn't seem to have arrived today. As we just have the entry list today. We don't seem to have an update on actually who is in this competition, so it could be anyone down there. No,
Absolutely.
but that's 7th place there for Nina Olympic. 9:49, so just struggling to break that 10-meter barrier.
Outstanding stuff. And really, I suppose 20 meters is that benchmark of world-class shot putting. If we can get a 20-meter thrower, looks John Kelly can keep up his progress in the years ahead. Wouldn't it be great to have an Irish athlete over 20 meters again?
Certainly would. And if he does go over 20 meters, he's likely to have broken that record of Paul Quirk, national record 20:04. But today he could be going for that championship best performance of 18:61 by John Dermody in 1999, and maybe John Kelly might party like it's 1999 if he gets over that. But at the moment, it's the athlete from Sleecoolin there with a short enough throw on this one, Conor O'Reilly. So
Yeah.
he is in 6th place.
Yeah, 9:05 that was.
And up next we should have John Dwyer, 5th place athlete from Templemore. This is the 5th round of this competition. Just another
Yeah, we're
round to
coming
go.
down to the business end. John Wire into the circle. Very good power upon release. We'll see what that is as it's measured. And the Kellys are prowling in the background, as indeed is Gavin McLaughlin there of Finn Valley.
Certainly we get an idea here of John Dwyer from Templemore's throw. See a new track built in Templemore there in the last 5-6 years, so great to see more field eventers coming out of Templemore.
That throw was 10:58 from John Dwyer.
Yeah, good throw from John Dwyer there, the Templemore man. And this is Gavin McLaughlin. He's in 4th place at the moment. He's got to try and add about a metre on to that personal best throw from the last round to get into the medals in this one. But a great performance here from the 23-year-old.
Yeah, absolutely outstanding stuff. What can he do? Can he find a medal throw? Using the spin technique, and out it goes, probably around the 16 meters or so.
Oh, well,
15?
that'll be a huge personal best for McLaughlin. Perhaps, but I would
Yeah,
expect
I think he would.
he'd be doing the John Kelly
Yes.
type, even more, maybe spinning, taking the top off, maybe throwing around his head, I'd say, if he went to 16 meters. Here's James Kelly now from Finn Valley as we get an idea there of that throw from John Kelly. Sorry, not from John Kelly, from Gavin McLaughlin. We'll hope to see the turning of the very slow roll here. He's showing nobody. 14.75. That's another personal best. McLaughlin delighted with that.
But back in the circle, it's our more junior of the Kellys. He's not a junior anymore, of course. It's James.
Yeah, he's going for the under 23 title today. He has it in the bag. And
he falls out. He just loses his balance there at the end. Might have missed that, but he, as we followed the ball on its way, but he just carried his momentum too much. He tried to hold on to his balance, but just extended himself a little bit too far there and stepped over.
Yeah, definitely a big throw as well from Kelly. So don't know if it was enough to challenge Sean Brannock there. That's 16.26 from his first round, but certainly putting himself in the mix. If he can get that right, it just might catch Sean Brannock, who is unlikely to have much more considering he is operating off that standing throw. But an absolute gent, Sean Brannock, and a man who's been around the circuit over the last couple of years, best part of a decade.
Yeah, he is a stalwart of Irish athletics, and it's great to have them, to be able to have these shot putters taking the limelight here, as once so often field events are demoted to bit part players and highlights reels, especially when we watch the Diamond Leagues and things like that. But here, thankfully, the timing allows us to have no track events. They can have the stage to themselves, and Sean Brannock now has Morton Stadium the attention of all the 100 or so people who are in here as he attempts to depose John Kelly. It's not going to do that, but can it be an improvement on his 16 metres?
Yeah, it does look to be better than his first round throw of 16.26, but we'll get an idea on that. It's hard to tell from the angle we're at here, but another big throw and so impressive from that standing position, Sean Brannock. And up next is going to be the main man here, John Kelly, 18.22 in the last round. Can he go even further? Do you see the result here for Sean Brannock?
It's 15.59 indeed. It's not an improvement,
Nope.
but consolidating his position.
Yeah, you'd imagine that if...
And look at the approach John Kelly takes to just, I guess, psychologically really, the way he stands back from the ball, grabs it, lets out a yelp, gears himself up for this.
A lot of adrenaline here being produced by John Kelly, I'd say. And he's going to absolutely launch us out. He must be buzzing after that 18.22 in round 4. And this is the last throw of round 5. Will he consolidate his position here as numero uno of the shot put? And he's buzzing with that one again.
Absolutely loving life, and so he should. He is in the
Outrageous.
gold medal position, and I think that might be further.
Yeah, as you can tell, like just
His
almost
best.
like a, when you see javelin throwers and other athletes like that, when they launch it out, they automatically
And
know
he claps,
how
the
good it's
arms
gonna
go
be.
up, and now we're going to find out very soon. 18.40. Very well done to John Kelly. It's the second longest throw for him this year, perhaps even of his life. It's the third longest throw of his life. He's thrown 18.62 in July this year. He threw 18.50 last year in Leiria, Portugal.
Yeah, you can imagine with the level he's at today and the lack of pressure in this final round,
this
he's
is
really going to go for it.
Thomas McGrain here of St. Peter's AC.
Good to see him competing.
It's when you pick up the shot put, obviously it's not going to be in any way impressive relative to what we've just seen from John Kelly, but when you actually get to pick up this shot put and see the weight of it, it is quite a hefty implement. 7.26 kilos, I think. It's 16 pounds or so. Senior men's shot put. I think we would have to get together, perhaps, and some sort of pulley system to get that even up in the air, never mind throw it.
Yeah, obviously, I have thrown quite a few shot puts in the National League over the years. I think Phil Conway, one of the top throws coaches in the country, is always ribbing me over my efforts, normally in around the 7-8 meters, which would not be remotely in contention here today. But certainly the main man, John Kelly, though, 18.40. Outrageous throwing here in the National Stadium here in Morton Stadium, and very close. He's getting closer to that record.
Absolutely.
18.60, I think, was it?
And it's a pity we don't have last year's champion as well, Eric Favors, here. Obviously, he's based in the US. Competes for Raheny, I think.
He does.
And
compete for Raheny, yeah.
he's in outstanding form this year, but obviously not able to make the journey over 1949 he threw indoors. So as we speak about that march towards that illustrious 20-meter barrier in a shot put, Eric Favors.
Yeah, he has a 1993 throw as well outdoors this year. So certainly having him and John Kelly getting in above 80 metres, the two of them. So it's incredibly good depth here, along with Sean Brannock and, of course, James Kelly. Good roar there from the Slicoulin athlete. Not to the roaring levels of John Kelly, but still
Conor O'Reilly.
strong.
We'll await that official score. The Spin Master 3000 on the officiating to the right. And
yeah, and John Dwyer then at Templemore AC is going to be up in this next round, so we should get that 9.69 here from Conor O'Reilly of Slicoulin.
And hallelujah, if you're checking the live.athleticsIreland.ie scores, some distances are finally being loaded into the system, but it appears only on completion.
So it was Mark Tierney, sorry, of Neil Olympic, who's in 7th. That was John Dwyer of Templemore.
Yep.
Going well in this shot put. He is in 6th place.
And on we go through this final round in Doha at the World Championships. It was one of the best, never mind shot put competitions there's ever been, one of the best athletics events there's ever been. The final round, 11.64 there for John Dwyer. Great stuff from the Templemore man. But yeah, thinking back to that, if we could see anything close to that, it would be unforgettable. But as those few centimetres separated the top trio. This is Gavin McLaughlin of Finn Valley. He was in 5th place, Ronan? I think.
He was in 4th.
Or is that Gavin McLaughlin? That's not. That's
James Kelly, I think.
James Kelly, yes.
Looks like Gavin McLaughlin hasn't taken his throw after that personal best performance in the last round, so maybe he just overexerted himself.
James Kelly with the...
Apologies, we were right. It is, in fact, here comes James Kelly.
Yes.
Gavin McLaughlin did.
We second guess ourselves. If we keep changing our mind, we'll be right once.
Even a stop
albeit
clock
temporarily.
is right twice a day. Cathal. Here goes.
And again, a clap goes up. You can be assured his dad and his fellow Finn Valley members are watching through that gate. He looked out to them. They have a good, brilliant view through that gate of Century Domain to watch this. And James Kelly, what can he produce here?
There's actually a great clap coming from his brother John and the coach's corner. Massive throw, and he stayed in the circle as well. He's absolutely delighted with that. He is buzzing. I can imagine what life is like in the Kelly household on a daily basis when, you know, someone's made a cup of tea or something. Yes, I'm absolutely loving this. What a house that would be to be in. That a huge throw there.
16:48
goes into
James
second
Kelly.
place.
That's just off his. That is a personal best. That's a lifetime best, at least according to the stats I have. I think his listed personal best in this with the senior implement is 15:47. So that's a huge personal best there for James Kelly. So you can understand exactly. I think the throw was there in that 5th round, but obviously he stepped out of the circle, just pushed it a little too much. He controlled his speed and power that time. And what a result for the Finn Valley man as we look back to the circle.
Yeah, Sean
Brannock.
Under serious pressure here now. 16:26, his best throw so far. He's got to get up to that 16:48 of James Kelly, the under-23 athlete who has that.
He's going for the full technique on this final attempt. He's finally going for it. He's going to spin.
Just wants to make absolutely sure here, and I don't think that is going to be further than James Kelly's performance, but we'll see in a moment. But Brannock with a 16:26 throw, having to pull out that rotational because of that superb lifetime best performance from James Kelly, putting him in 2nd place. So we'll see now. Has Sean Brannock almost like, oh look, fine, I'll do it. I'll do the rotational. I'll pull it out.
I'll do it. You guilt tripped me. 16:39. Heartbreak for Brannock. But it will be another brilliant bronze for the Galway man. Well done to him. And just shows you great athletes find a way to get it done. And he still manages to win a bronze medal despite being in considerable pain, like a American football quarterback, being a bit walking wounded, but still getting the touchdown passes going. But this man threw the Hail Mary there in the last round. Brilliant series so far, 18:40. Can he improve on that? This is a golden throw regardless for John Kelly. The 24-year-old is going to be your national senior shot put champion. But what can he do? And will we hear him roar once more?
Yeah, this could be an amazing performance here from John Kelly. we'll judge it off his roar.
No.
There's no roar from him now.
There is no
so
roar, and I think it's visually it didn't quite look as far as the other two, and I think he knew it as soon as shot putters generally know once it does leave their hand. And it's not so much the distance they see it; it's more whether they've nailed the different elements of it.
Yeah, as was mentioned earlier on, I was thinking of kickers in rugby or fellas who just taking a shot in football and they wheel away without even looking at it going over the post or going into the goal. And John Kelly was like that in the previous rounds. You could tell straight away before it even hit the ground, he was roaring, knowing that it was a massive throw. And 1840 for the win in the 5th round. Second place, his brother James Kelly with a huge final round performance. Another amazing final round effort here at Santry Stadium. We have plenty of clutch performances. Another one there from James Kelly, 16:48, and then Sean Bernach almost wearily pulling out the rotational technique in the final round to go, look, I'll try and get up there and finish into second. And he threw, was it 16:38?
16:39 officially.
In that final round. That's the 1, 2, 3. Gavin McLaughlin in 4th.
Excellent stuff. And our under-23 champion, of course, will be James Kelly. So there's 2 goals going back to Donegal. Congrats to the Kellys. And another brave, brilliant effort by Sean Bernach gets him a bronze. Great stuff. Yeah, we're just consulting with our producers here about we'll stay on, will we, for the medal ceremony? No, well, we don't know when the medal ceremony is right now.
Sometime, so we'll
It
let
might
the
be even
cameras
part
on
of the
that.
next session.
But we will not give you any more analysis. I know we were awaiting our wonderful analysis of the shot put, but I think we've given everything we can on that. So we will catch you at the end of this stream, unless we're going to see those shot putters come down very shortly. We might wait around for a moment and hop back on.
Yeah, well, we can film it and then put it out at the start of the next session. We can show that to you as we because it could be 10 or 20 minutes, and we won't. I'm sure people have things to do, but we'll make sure to bring you that medal ceremony on film. And the next action here in Morton Stadium, it's going to be up on a different stream, but it's coming up at 2 p.m. and it's track and field. We're going to be starting Michelle Finn, our Rio Olympian, our World Championship representative last year in Doha. She's going to be first up on track at 2 p.m. in the women's steeplechase. 2:20 is the men's 3,000 metre steeplechase. Then we're into the sprint hurdles, both women and men. 200 metre finals, women and men. 800 metre finals, women and men. And then that finishes up on the track at 4 p.m. And in the field from 2 p.m, the men's pole vault get underway. They're warming up already. Then 10 past 2, we have the women's weight for distance. 10 past 3, we have the men's weight for distance. Can Sean Bernach pull out another medal? So it's going to be from about 2 p.m. to 4 p.m, 2 hours of brilliant athletics here. And we'll take a quick break, go grab a cup of tea, try and do some research. Thank you for joining us for that. Session 8, that was, of the Irish Life Health Track and Field Championships. 8 down, 1 to go, and it's going to be a great one. So please join us back here at 2 p.m.